this going to be too loud, probably? I don't want to touch it because I don't know how to turn it down. Looks like we're getting a crowd gathered. So, Glenn, if you want to come up here in a sec, we'll get started. Somebody's going to need to adjust this volume for me, and we'll get our preview started.
Test 1 2. Test 1 2. About right.
Well, I want to welcome everybody that's joining us online and the crowd that's starting to gather here at the Roadside Event Center. We're here in Huntley, Montana, just south of Shepherd, Montana, where Maverick Show Goats calls home. Excited to be here for their third annual Out West Prospect Sale that we're getting to help them with. They've put an outstanding set of goats together, and we're looking forward to a really exciting evening. Got to spend the last couple of days up here going through those things, and I'm going to be joined here this evening to do our commentary with Glenn Martin. Glenn's also been through the goats a couple of times. I guess there a couple of weeks ago, huh, Glenn, and then back up today. So it looks like a really deep offering of males and females with a lot of upside value and a lot of differences in what we can do with them there in the end, depending on your goals and where you may be. So we look forward to the evening, and with that, we'll get started with the preview here just I'll let Glenn, I guess, make a few opening comments if he'd like to, and then we'll get into the lots.
Well, you know, over the years we've been able to sell some seed stock there to Maverick Show Goats, to Brian and his family, and I know that he's utilized those extremely effectively along with the other genetics that he has incorporated into that program. Had the opportunity to come up last year and look through this set a little earlier, and then this year a couple of times to peruse these the stock that he's selling today. And boy, it is sheer quality, and I like the fact that he's done such a nice job of blending genetics and taking the positives, putting them together, and making the set that he has today. And I hope you've had the opportunity to look at them online, look at their pictures. They do a very nice job. Garrett Bowe does an extremely good job of getting those goats clipped and ready, and getting them videoed for you. Where if you're not available to look, it is out here in the Big Sky Country that you can certainly get a fair look and representation of the stock. But it is a very, very good set, and certainly quality there. Like I said, top to bottom, in a large sale, something for everybody is what I'd say to add into it. Well, we opened up lot 1, 5180. Believe the Hype Sun over Leapfrog Doe. That's the black painted chromed up one that you see on screen. Excessive amount of hair and bone and foot size, and with that an exceptionally flexible skeleton that you see. He's got big feet, feature, and fur, and then get over the top of him. That one's got a big square back in him from his blade back all the way to his loin edge, blends into his hip. Got one there that's got the right kind of look from the side, and the right kind of density of bone and footwork, square shape, and very, very high quality. Great way to start there with lot 1, 5180. Well, lot 2 that we have, another male in the offering, 5178, up the limit, Yellowstone, and one that is bred to be cagey and stout, and he certainly does that for you when you look at him. If you study him live or on the picture you see or the video that's online, big caged, very, very shapely. I have punchy in my notes, and I like that about him. Comes big in his chest. He's big behind his blade and full in his forerib, and one that is still pliable in his skeleton. He moves good, extremely big in his hip and pin set. You can see his side shape there. He's got an incredible amount of shape in the outside curvature of his legs. So another really nice one there, and that's going to be a common theme as we go through and just talk about these. That one has got all the bells and whistles, and really if you're looking for the kind that has the kind of muscle and punch that most of these judges are needing today, that one's got it, still in a real flexible package, and that's lot 25178.
Well, lot 3 comes next, and tag 5232. This will be a weather buck option, so I'm going to make sure as we get into this particular lot, before we talk, I'll let Glenn talk to the animal himself, but talk to particulars of how the lot's going to be sold. We'll sell this thing. Hammer Price buys him as a show weather, so you can do what you want with him. Double the final bid price would buy 50% interest and shared possession to be negotiated with Maverick Show Goats, and 3 times the final bid price would buy the buck in his entirety, outright and possession. So make sure as we get into that, we'll make those announcements later on this evening as well. But the lot 3 is going to sell as a buck weather option with a couple of different options there on how you can go. He's a Not Tonight, which is the stork buck that's made a big impact over the last 5 or 6 years there in the business that they invested in and brought up here to be able to utilize in their program. I think he's really nice. I'll let Glenn talk some more about him.
Well, that weather buck option's one that I know Brian is exceptionally proud of. Had the opportunity, he called me and said, "I think I've got one that makes a buck or a weather, either one." And like you to look, and got to look at him early and interesting, and told him, yeah, he's a standout in terms of his elevation and his look up front. His width of chest is just exceptional, and with that comes a very, very big, bold rib cage. Those of you that know the things that we have to have in the business, boy, if you're going to generate them, you got to have that cage, and this one certainly does that. The bottom side of his pedigree is an exceptional Yellowstone female. He is very big backed. He's very big and progressive in his width from his blade back to his pins. Has got an incredible amount of shape and dimension, and still I read him a shot moderate in his size, not an oversized one, not an exceptionally big one, but he's certainly not a small one or a dink either. I think he's kind of right in the middle and fits a variety of scenarios. If you want to keep him that way intact and use him as a buck, I think he brings you some old school pedigree with some kind of new school touch and muscle, if you will. That one's got lots of quality if you want to take the seeds out and take him down the road and certainly show him. But a very unique one that he has, and an awesome pedigree, I think, to go either way with. Good stock there in lot 3, 5232.
A little lag here. Lot 4 comes next. As we get into some of these things, we want to make sure we introduce the sire groups. Hadn't done, make sure we get that to the crowd. Be a lot of these things sired out of Believe the Hype, which is the buck that the Maverick crew invested with us there at Mock Livestock last summer. Hype would be a Believe in Me on I'm the Way's sister. His sister would have been the grand champion doe this year at the American Royal, who was also named a show doe of the year online there. So there's a big set of these hypes, a lot of those up to limits, and that buck has done an awesome job as well. As we get through these sire groups, we'll make sure we introduce those things properly. Tag 5196 comes with next. I've got some stars by this one on my list here. He's a hype on another good Yellowstone daughter. Big, stout, up and out, really big in his cage, functional and flexible in his rear leg. I like where his pin set and the shape to his rear leg, both on the move and on the brace. I think one, if you need one to giddy up and go pretty quick, I think he can do that and then still feed through the summer into the winter and be appropriate sized. And that'll be lot 4, tag 5196. I just went all the way to 14. Go back to 5. How about that? 5 comes next. Let Glenn talk about this one. I think this one would be high on about anybody's list. He's pretty easy to find when you walk in the pen. Really universal, I think, where he can go in terms of what part of the country we can go to with this thing and where you can go with him. But lot 5 is 5237. He's out of the buck there from Glenn that they used last year. Brought that thing back up this year and had a great set, a lot of success. This one's pretty easy to find, Glenn.
Well, he is, and I'd call him a standout just from a flash and eye appeal standpoint. He gets around the pen, and you notice him. He's got the frosty ears and the wild neck, and still, boy, when he comes to you or goes away, he's opened up and big and just wild in terms of the way he comes to you. His number's 5237, and right there, the first word I have in my notes on him is just stud. And I think that pretty much sums it up. Now, descriptively, he's not a big goat, but he balances up exceptionally good from the side. He's wide, he's stout at the surface. He proportions good from the side. And then you get over the top of that one, he's just got the big crease in the ditch in his back. He's got a really good wide, good edge to his loin. Comes back to a big hip and pin set. And like I said, maybe his best attributes is just watching him move, his presence, and the way he goes around. But a very, very nice one there in lot 5, 5237. Certainly needs to be high on your list. Yeah, we get a string of doe kids here now for I think 5 lots. and Brian's mixed it up here and splashed some does in and across. Of course, it goes really without saying, if you followed Maverick's ability to produce does that do an exceptional job for people showing, and as well as when they get them back out and go to breeding on them. He's done that. He's always kept a very, very good maternal side in this game. And here we've got lot 6, a doe that comes to us. I think her number's 5199, and that one is a hidden treasure, one and only, which is actually one of Paris's sisters that comes from the Droppert firm and Ryan Mortweet family there in Iowa. He used hidden treasure over that particular female, and this one is high end in terms of her look, her body type, her cage, her shape. She's extremely good, very, very tall-shouldered, attractive, good in her neck, and one that's just fun to walk in and watch her move around. Then you catch that one, and no doubt she is packing a punch. She's groovy back, she's big loin, big pinned, and one that's just high-end in terms of her ceiling as a show doe or as a breeding piece, taking her back when you're done running her through those shows. That one's exceptional. Lot 6, 5199, hidden treasure, one and only. The lot 7 comes in 5226. It's out of one of Brian's bucks that he really likes and likes him well enough. He named him Complete. That one's one of those very, very fault-free ones that he has there. Back over a Sace doe, which made popular and made lots of good females there at Hoffman Livestock out in West Texas for Cade and Jamie. That particular female gets high marks on my card. First thing on my list is high quality, and that's something that's hard to describe, but very easy to see when you walk in and look at that one. Big boned, very good in terms of her balance. One that's furry and has the right kind of pieces and still blends together. I think she's very cool in her movement. She's level in how she looks right down her top line and still has that shape that we like to see. Good pedigree, very good quality from a balance, eye appeal, and punch standpoint. Lot 7, 5226.
Lot 7 comes next. That got loud quick. Lot 7 comes next, and that would be the 5226. Is that the one you just talked? You can hear it then? Okay, well, I got people texting me. Hold on. Well, my voice sounds good, doesn't it? Here we go. Lot 8, here we go. 5208 doe kid. This is the real stout, big, up and out, believe the hype, Yellowstone. You'll see that pedigree in here quite a bit, and I think that cross worked really well. And we talked this morning kind of about those doe kids with Brian and Glenn as we went through this offering on just they're big and broody and robust, and this thing has got extra spread up high. This particular one in 5208. Extra spread up high, extra big hip shape. Her pins are set way on the outside of her body, has a big forearm, and I don't think this doe has a tight joint in her skeleton. She's extremely flexible. She wedges back into a deep, productive flank. Her cage is massive. She's got a stout skull in her, and I think a doe that if you're looking for one to show up here in this part of the country and be competitive, and then if you're looking for one to maybe dual purpose back into a donor, or if you just want to buy one and take it somewhere as a donor, I think one that needs to be high on your list. That's a really neat pedigree. Again, the way those things crossed out. And I think this 5208 was one that had some of the bigger pieces in the offering, in my opinion.
We have lot 9 next, 5211, sired by Brian's buck Happy. That is a very neat animal if you've had the opportunity to go look at him. He's a giddy son. Back over a Yellowstone doe here in Very, very broody cage and body type in this one, exceptional rack shape. When you read that one right out the backside of her blade, boy, she's got the goods there. She's good looking up front, and one that you like her for elevation, but one that comes exceptionally cagey. I think she's dual purpose as well. You can take that one and show her. Certainly reads to be the kind that we like, just in terms of her body type and her mass. In the center of her cage and at her last rib. Hard to get that kind of volume, hard to get that kind of width of hip in one of these and still keep them so flexible and neat in terms of their look. So very nice one there as well, lot 9, 5211. Lot 10 comes next, and I got a circle on that one, 5229. Another doe kid, and as Kevin said on his notes, it says obvious. That one is out of that brother buck there, the Jim's brother, that Brian got from us. Rico on the bottom side, and a neat thing to note, that particular doe made that exceptional heavyweight class winner in San Antonio this year for Mason Simpson there in the weather show. And it's easy to see how that worked out if you study this one as well. Big caged and big racked, one that has the great big bones, and still one that's smooth in the way that she's assembled. We love that weather, and think that the pedigree here there with the Hidden Treasure son back over the Rico, it certainly made a very, very high quality female to put in lot 10, and that's 5229.
So I think the catalog needs some update. It's not wrong, but so this on paper, so that would be a Jim Dandy on 1124, and this is Jim's brother on 1124. So genetic full sib to Mason's weather at San Antonio. That was really good, and we hauled him in there, and he installed right beside my son, and I thought that was one of the best 4 or 5 weathers in the whole show. He was really, really nice. So update my catalog there so I can send people notes. Lot 11, we get another covey of these weathers, and this is 5193, an HT, one and only again, and I had some notes on this one. This thing is wide. He has a really, really good underline, and I thought he had the HT handle. Again, I believe this would be a flush mate to the lot 6 doe kid. So HT back on Paris's sister. That's a pedigree that worked really, really good for the dropper crew. Those does, if you're like me, I like feeding out of doe lines that I have consistency with or have faith in. And I think this is one here. It's a pedigree that's proven to feed. Those things should continue to progress. I thought this one had a really good underline. He was wide. He was good cage. Kind of had the HT shape and head and ear set in him. I thought this was a real nice weather.
Yeah, a lot of feedability in that one, and that's lot 11, 5193. Lot 12, 5177. That's another one sired by Hype. Believe the Hype over Free Reign. One that exceptionally big in terms of his width, his rack shape is big, his hip and his pin set are huge. Boy, he's got a ton of shape as you step from the side or 3/4 behind that one. That thing's wide. He's high quality. He has a real feedable look. I think the pedigree there gives you some options just in terms of how far maybe you can go with that one. I think you could show him summertime. You could show that one late into the fall, and certainly could take that one shortly, at least around the corner at some of those winter major shows. You look at this lot 12, click on his video and watch that thing get around the pin. That thing is high end looking. He's got the runaway neck and the build to go some distance, and like I said, he's got the punch to fit with it. So Beauty and the Beast all together there in lot 12, 5177. Lot 13, we have 5195, another one of those hype weathers. He's a hype over no other. Those of y'all that had some no others or got to see that buck, one of the exceptionally powerful bucks that Brian's had there out at Shepherd over at Mavericks. And this one reads to be the kind that has some feedability to him. He's got some balance. He's got some shape. He's got some bone density, and one that just has a high quality look. He's bred to be extra stout, extra dense, and one that we think can feed very well. That's lot 13, 5195.
If you're listening online, we've had a few people message in that the volume was a little low. It's really loud here on what we're testing and through our earphones. We just turned it up through the system or through the server, so the mixer. So hopefully we adjusted that. But just let us know. Continue to give us some feedback if you think the volume is a little low on your end. Lot 14. Before we get into him, want to make just a little note to those of you that haven't made it up here. He was just limping ever so slightly the last couple of days. Brian, being a vet, he's doctored that thing. We made a comment this morning. Kind of needed to make the call if he was or wasn't going to make the sale, but he seems to be doing much better today. So lot 14 will remain in the sale, and then Brian will make sure that he's healed up before they send him out to anybody. So as we get into him, lot 14, 5191, I've got actually, he was limping a little bit. I got 3 stars on my list by him. I thought this one just had a really up and out look. I loved where his chest plate set in him in relation to the stoutness of bone, the width to his forearm. His skull and ear shape was really good. I thought he progressed into a really uniform rib cage. I thought he was symmetrical there out of the back side of his shoulder, and probably had one of the bigger rear foots of any of them in the offering, combined with a really level hip. I think if you're, people are starting to ask what's the more sheepy looking one or the more up and out looking one, I think this is one that definitely needs to be on your list from that standpoint. Again, out of one of those one and only does, I think you can kind of see the silhouette that those things make as well. So one here that I thought was just really, really neat looking. He's crisp handling. He's good skinned. His head and ear set looks really, really good to me. And just want to make sure we note that he was a little gimpy yesterday, but they're going to make sure he's right before he goes out. And that is lot 14, 5191.
Lot 15 is 5190. That's another up the limit son, up the limit crowd control. That's one that really spans big. It is 12/13 and blends a big loin back into his hip. I've noted he's just a shot greener, and his forerib, one that's probably just a little thinner, if you will, just from a composition standpoint, and frankly a fat standpoint here. His progression of width is exceptional as you stand over the top and read him from his blade back, and I like that. They need to wedge the right way when you stand behind him, and this one does that. High end in terms of his look. Elevated up front, bred to be extra stout genetically, and one that we feel has a lot of feedability to him. That's lot 15, 5190. Lot 16, we get back in a string of these doe kids that Brian has offered here for sale. Lot 16 is 5200. That's a hype over a cash in. So combining some of the newest and hottest genetics on top over some of the older genetics, but very, very good quality from a maternal standpoint, cage and shape. And this one worked out extremely well. This 5200 doe probably for me doesn't read maybe quite as big boned as some of them in there, but in relation to her framework and body type, boy, she balances up good. I think her breeding potential is excellent. I think her show opportunities are very, very good. She's got shape. She's got body cage and density. She's still good looking up front, moves exceptionally well. Good stock there in lot 16, 5200. Lot 17, 5212. I've got some extra marks by that one as well. She's a Believe the Hype, one and only, another one of Paris's sisters that Brian has here at Maverick Show Goats. This one is big-footed, very, very heavy boned. Exceptional in terms of her touch. She's thin in her hide. She's good in her creases. For me, I think she offers an exceptionally flexible skeleton, a very big cage, and one that is high end in terms of her ceiling as a show doe. I also have the notes on the side because I like that pedigree so well. I think that one reads somebody just wants to take one and get in a hurry on trying to make some more goats and put this one back in production. I think you could do that as well. I think her breeding value is exceptional. Her quality is very good from a show doe standpoint. Love the running gear, the mass down low, and the hair as well. That's lot 175212. Lot 18 next. That is number 5207. That is a hidden treasure, free rein. That pedigree reads extra stout. That pedigree reads shapely and wide. And you know, the first words on my note card for that one is huge backed. And that is something that's so critical today. We have as many, lamb guys and ladies judging these as we've ever had, and they like petting on them. And this one's not going to disappoint anybody when they get their hands across her back and across her loin. She's sound, she's cool, she's got the right kind of underline and running gear, and she's just got the incredible width and shape, still ties it together in a tidy package up front. That's lot 185207. Lot 195206, another unique pedigree. Talked about one earlier, same pedigree here. I believe the hype over a Sace doe. Big cage, big rack shape, and that's going to be a common theme here with this stock. Brian doesn't like them if they're narrow when they come out behind their blades. He's always been the guy that wanted them to have cage. He always understands in his cattle business that he helps with, and he understands the need to have the cage, the need to have the shape there, and this one does just that. You get in behind, big pin set. This one's got exceptional balance. Just combines so much together. Love her underline from the side, her elevation at the top of her blade, and her lower chest plate are exceptional. Very good breeding piece, high-end show doe, good balance here. That's lot 195206. Rounding out that string of does is lot 205201, and that's another up the limit over Yellowstone. So combining Brian's mainstay on the bottom side with the up the limit buck there that we have, and that one is for sure, in my opinion, a breeding piece, exceptionally furry, very fat backed and cagey, wide, and I just love the way that one comes to you, the way you read her back into her forerib. Once again, I think value there if you want to take that one and show, but value as well in making good stock and making your stock better at home. That one's got lots of quality, very neat pedigree up the limit Yellowstone. That's lot 205201. We get into another string of weathers here, lot 21, and that's 5236, and I've got some extra marks by this one as well. That's a Jim's brother over a Popeye. Popeye was a fuzzy son, and so we've tied in some of that Hoffman livestock on the bottom side again. This one, so a hidden treasure son over a fuzzy son on the bottom side, and that's a very, very good female. This particular animal is exceptionally sound and very, very shapely. Has big, hard muscle, balances up really good from the side. One that I think proportion, just frame and elevation, the length of body and shape are exceptional here. One that chest is good, forerib and cage, big shape, big hard muscle shape, be fun to feed, and I think one that'd be pretty easy to feed as well. That's lot 215236. Lot 225235, that's a hype 1911 Hidden Treasure. And that goat's got some gas and some grow. I think you could take that one and go a little early if you wanted to. That thing's still got the big rack shape. He moves excessively good just from a skeletal flexibility standpoint. That's one I think if you're in the mood to hold one, I'm not sure that's the one you want to tie into. If you want to go early and go often, I think you that's one you can really get into. Just his flexibility is such you can stand on the gas. His framework is such that he's going to be a heavier weighted goat, and I think you can tie into that one. That's lot 22, 5235. Lot 23, 5233. High-end goat has more checks on my sheet than some of them we've gone through that I really liked and enjoyed looking at. This one's out of that complete buck of Brian's. Bottom side of this pedigree is a Harlem handshake, very shapely, big shape up top, progressively widens, big shape, big caboose when you get in behind this one. I like the feedability in this particular goat. Once again, I don't read him as particularly a small one. I think he's got some gas in the tank. I think he'll be toward the heavier weights of where that you want to show. And as often said, takes a big goat to win a big show. That one's got the right opportunities, I think. His pedigree reads good. His body type, his balance is good. His flexibility is good. I know Brian likes that one quite a bit as well. That's lot 23, 5233. Lot 24, that's 5179. That's a Believe the Hype back over real old school pedigree on bottom, but very good. A leapfrog doe that Brian has. Good structured, one that is shapely, one that's got a lot of punch, has a lot of cage. I don't read that one as getting quite as big. I think that one's just got big hard back in him. He's got a lot of shape right in his forerib. He's got the creases, I think, to be one that you can get there and kind of manage just where you want to be. I don't know that he's got a ton of gas. Leapfrog wasn't a very big one. That hype goat's going to put some added density. That's double bred hair and foot size, double bred muscle. Not really, I'd say, on the bottom side bred to be a big one, but that's a very nice goat. 5179. That's lot 24. Lot 25 here, a very nice goat as well. Like this weather's opportunity to feed. His number is 5194, and that's an up the limit Harlem handshake. Powered up, balanced up, feedability, I think all lands in this one's favor. He's got, to me, he's got more condition than some of them. He's smoother behind his blade and already down his top. He's I'm not going to call him fluffy, but he's closer to being there and being more show ready than some. I've got on my notes that exercise, I think this one will be exercise friendly. I think he'll be easy to feed. I don't think you'll have to stand on the gas to make him look powered up and fresh the way you want. It still has a real high-end look, high-end ceiling as a weather. His balance, once again, is exceptional. That's lot 25, 5194. Get back into another string of doe kids, and I like that. I like how Brian kind of splashes that throughout the sale order here. Doesn't just stack them all together and keeps you on your toes and keeps you interested. And frankly, there's enough families that run both ways with does and weathers that I think it's logical to do that. We have lot 26. That one's tag number is 5210. And another good Believe the Hype back over a Hoffman Livestock bred female, 9098 is the bottom side there of that pedigree. That one is a little skinnier and a little greener, but still very high quality in terms of look. That one's got the opportunity to be shapely, to go on and do some things for you. I like the pedigree there just from a breedability standpoint down the road as well. Comes just a little thinner, probably in terms of condition, but one that reads to be the kind you can feed on and get the job done along the way. Good stock there. That's lot 26, ear tag number 5210. Lot 27 comes next, and get the opportunity here to put one of Brian's kind of mainstays on the bottom of this pedigree. That's 5204, and that's a Happy, their Giddy son, over a bear paw female. I think this one is big-bodied, flexible, nice looking. For me, I thought had some volume of muscle, not quite as creasy as some today, but one that certainly reads good just in terms of where she's at from a softness and flexibility standpoint. Love the body in this particular female. I know the hair is bred in here, certainly top and bottom. One that I think you can be pretty comfortable. You're going to have some big paws and some big stout legs on this particular one. That's lot 27, 5204. Lot 28 comes next. That one is 5203 ear tag. That's another up the limit Harlem handshake. One that I have a little green in terms of where that one's at behind its blade and just over its forerib. I love the pedigree once again in this female. Double bred for width and stoutness and shape. One that I know Brian likes quite a bit just from a balance and utility standpoint. That one's got the opportunity to feed and do some things as a show doe. Really neat pedigree if you want to breed on that one and just try to get you better where you need to be. That's lot 28, 5203. Next we have lot 29, and I think one that is just pretty special. That's a brother, so Jim's brother over a tag team. Ear tag number 5224. I think that one is a show doe the whole way, and I think that one's also a unique breeding piece. Balance in this one, handle in this one, cage in this one are all very good. Qualities, as I said before, hard to describe to people, but boy, easy to see when you get in and look at these. This one presents herself and moves around. She's arrogant up front. She's high-end in terms of her look. Absolutely love the pedigree that's in that one and love the opportunity to feed and breed both. Show doe Deluxe 29, ear tag number 5224. Lot 30. Another doe that rounds out this string of does. Her ear tag number is 5225, and here Brian put the bear paw on top over the woke buck there. Starts on the bottom side. This one reads to me to be a little green as well. Still very high quality, obviously. Big feet and feature, big paws, balances up good. Flexible in terms of her movement. Another one that I know he likes quite a bit. Show doe prospect, as well as combining the breeding pieces that he has. That one's bred for fur and still bred to run uphill, look good, have the right kind of shape. That's lot 30, 5225. Lot 31, we get back in these weathers, 5197. I'm going to tell you, I like the way that one moves. I like his density. I like his stoutness. I love his fur. His cage is good. That one is big. Don't buy that one thinking you got you a little one, and don't buy that one thinking you're going to make him a little one. That's a fallacy that a lot of people have. This one is a Believe the Hype scratch and dent. And he just came with a shot of frame. His balance is exceptional, but that's a big goat already. And if you're wanting to stay small, you're going to be disappointed taking that one and trying to limit feed on him and make him into a little one. I know you love the way he looks moving around that pen. I do too. I like his flexibility of his lower joint work and his spine. Like I said, he's cagey, he's furry, but that thing's big, and he needs to be one that you go on with. But that gives you opportunity. You're wanting to show early and show often and feel comfortable that you've got a big heavyweight that can do some things for you. I think you need to look in on 31, ear tag number 5197. 32 would be next. That's 5239. That's a Jim's brother over a no other. And we've seen that pedigree as well before. Why would we have seen that? Well, that's a brother to the frosty-eared one, the Lot 5. And I call him Little Bro in here, and he is that. He's just kind of a smaller version, excuse me, of that Lot 5. This Lot 32 weather, I wrote small, huge bone, high quality stud. And so I think you read that one, and just in terms of his width and his stoutness, his shape, his balance, at this point of the game, I don't know where he ends up frame size and mature weight, but I can tell you where he ends up, in my opinion, from a quality standpoint. He'll be right there toward the front of anywhere you want to show him. That's Lot 32, 5239. Lot 33, 5242. That's another Believe the Hype, and the pedigree on the bottom side of that comes from Pfeiffer Farms. That is a juice doe there that Brian bought from Pfeiffer's there in Oklahoma, and that doe has done a great job here on the farm at Mavericks for Brian. I got some stars by this one as well. He is a small goat. Appears to me he's going to stay lightweight. Got grooves everywhere. That one's got creases from his ears to his tail. He's grooved in his rack. He's grooved in his loin. He's got the cat claw marks in his leg from the side. I mean, that thing is shapely. I don't read him to be big. I think that's one, if you want to stay in the smaller divisions, you want to feel real comfortable. You got enough punch, enough shape, enough muscle, and then have one that really balances up neat. You got to have some marks by that one. That's Lot 33, 5242. Lot 34 comes next, 5240, and that's a Jim's brother over another Pfeiffer doe, and that one's a ladies' man. I've got that thing as being moderate in his size, very wide in terms of his skeleton, and still he keeps everything in check as you read him from his blade and stand in front, or you read him behind and read him from the 3/4. You've got one there that's extra wide, and yet still doesn't look like he's going to be out of the box or out of his skeleton from that standpoint. He's got a big loin edge in him. We've had quite a few of those ladies' mans over the years, and now try to feed quite a few weathers out of some of those daughters. And here you got that opportunity, tying the Hidden Treasure son over ladies' man, a Pfeiffer Farms deal on bottom. One that I think you have to have on your list. He reads a little thin to me. I think he's a little more immature just in terms of his cover and his condition, but high quality. That's Lot 34, 5240. Lot 35, 5234. That one reads real high end in terms of his look. His presence is exceptional. He's got the right kind of head on the right kind of neck. It comes out the top of his blade. High quality in his look and his balance. His presence is exceptional. That's when you walk in, he's captivating. He catches your attention. You get over the top of him, he sure doesn't disappoint you, boy. He progressively widens. He's got a nice crease in his back. He's got a good edge to his loin. His pin set is big. You stand behind him or 3/4 that one. He runs straight uphill. He comes with the big donk when you stand behind him. That one's got lots of future. I think he's got the option to go early or to wrap around as well and make a big one there in the late fall. But good stock there, Lot 35, 5234. We get to the next string of does, and we've got, I think, one weather stuck in the middle of those, but we have Lot 36, 5222, and I think if you were able to go look at these and get in the pen with them, you've got to really appreciate the quality that you see in this particular female. That's a Jim's brother, so the Hidden Treasure son over a tag team. And that one has just got monster cage and big feet, big running gear, big shape. I rode huge rack right out the back of her blade. That one's got lots of quality from a show doe standpoint, lots of quality from a breedability standpoint. She's got real high marks on my sheet, and I think multiple people have that one scored pretty high. That's lot 36, 5222. Lot 37, 5220. We've got one there that's yellow-headed, one that I think has just got show doe written on her. The bottom side of that pedigree is a landmark, and I think that, puts some flash, some color, some extra elevation. That one is big caged and big racked, really balances well from the side. I think she's got the opportunity to show. I definitely think she's one that you appreciate when you get her back and start breeding on one like that. I think, boy, you can do numerous things to improve what you're working with there at home. So that's lot 37, 5220. Lot 38, 5227. That's a hype juice. So believe the hype over Piper Doe there out of the Great Juice Buck. Huge caged. That's a flush mate to the weather we talked about a while ago. Yep, huge cage. This one is smaller in type and kind. I don't know that she gets real big just in terms of show doe prospect. If you're wanting to have a big heavyweight in a doe show, maybe this one fits better in one of those lower divisions. Her flexibility is good. Love her cage, love her type and kind. Obviously bred to be punchy and have the big muscles. This one's really nice, and I think, like I said, offers you some options if you're not looking for one to get up with the very biggest ones in shows. That's lot 38, 5227. Next, I have a weather, lot 39, 5183, and that is, believe the hype, ombre, and that ombre is from Dropper Livestock there in Iowa. Another one that I like from a balance standpoint. Saw this one back when, and he was extra skinny, and I put me some marks. I need to look again and come back, and he comes to us really wide. He is spread out. He's masked up. He's done everything right in the last month, and boy, I think that combination of hype on that Dropper Livestock doe has done just an exceptional job here. One that I think reads true in terms of his balance, in terms of his opportunity to feed. And like I said, he's done everything right for the last 30. I have no reason to believe he wouldn't from here on out. That's lot 39, 5183. We get back into another string of does, lot 40, 5245. That's a flush sister to 222. This one's not as big, but boy, she is mighty. That's a brother over the same tag team doe. I have show doe by her. Cage is exceptional. Touch is very good. One that comes wide, leaves wide, and still feminine in how she's assembled. Very, very high quality. She shows, and I think you need to think about showing in some of the earlier weight divisions with that particular doe. Well, she doesn't give up anything in terms of density, hair, balance. She's got all of that. She's just a little smaller in type and kind, if you will. That's lot 40, 5245. Lot 41, 5230. Another believe the hype, Popeye. That one's got some stars on mine. I think she's got extra quality look. She's big shaped and very, very good balance. I think her ceiling is exceptional, just as a breeding piece, and still very good when you start talking about a female to go show with and get your kids some wins under their belt. That one's got the bells and whistles to do it. You read her up front. She comes wide, but she's really smooth in her forerib. She progressively widens, and like I said, she's got extra stars on mine because her balance and her shape, the combinations of those things are so good. That's lot 41, 5230. Lot 42 comes next. That's 5244. Here again, we've got one of those bear paw wokes. This is a little bitty one, and I think, boy, just cute, cute, cute. And yet, with that, well, she's got the big punch right out the back of her shoulder, got the big crease and the big ditch right there in her rack as she comes back. Still reaches and goes with enough flexibility, good looking. That's a small one. Still proportions well, still balances well. I know the pedigree says she's going to be big. Her body type and her skull says she's going to stay a little lighter. Still high-end quality and look. That's 42, ear tag number 5244. 43, and the last in that particular string of doe kids is 5218. That's, I believe, the hype there, scratch and dent on the bottom. She's a little black-headed doe. She has a black spot on her shoulder. She's got great cage and great shape. She's got great body and balance. She's hairy, not one of the bigger ones once again in that pen, but one that, well, she looks like the kind that I think you could really get into from a show doe and a practicality standpoint. Lots of good in that particular female. Dense low, dense up high, good balance. Well, she gets some marks for me. Doesn't read as big, but really by proportion looks like she might have some more grow in her just from length of neck and elevation when you get in the pen with her. That's lot 43, 5218. Lot 44, that's one Blake like. 44, 5243, another hype juice. Boy, this one's got the monster cage, and I told you I was going to say that a lot today, but reality is Brian focuses on that. He wants these goats to go out and do well for the folks that get them. When you have that kind of cage in those goats and that kind of body type, the reality is they feed. The hardest thing in the world to do is to feed one that's genetically built flat-ribbed and phenotypically flat behind their blade and just to get them to feed out for you. This one's got the right kind of cage. I'd say a little greener just in terms of her muscle shape. I'd like to see her just a shot further along compositionally comparative to some. Boy, you read the pedigree. Say it again. Oh, sorry. Yeah, you read the pedigree there, though. That one reads to be so stout. I mean, I don't know how you can combine any more muscle shape in one with hype and juice in terms of that pedigree. So that's 44, 5243. Lot 45 comes next.
Catalog typo in your print material. This one's listed as a doe kid, but it's correct online.
Okay, this one's listed in the catalog as a doe kid. It is a wether. It is correct online here. It's lot 45, and is that 5291? Is that 5241? Excuse me. Wasn't worried as much about the number. I already got the circle by this one. Believe the hype, scratch and dent, one that I think reads to be in the front end of the sale just from a quality standpoint. When you got as many head as Brian has, you got the good ones stacked all the way through. Very good balance from the side and exceptional muscle shape, striking in terms of his look and quality. Here's one that I have feedability by. I love the bottom side of the pedigree, and we've seen so many of these hypes in this particular set that prove to us they have the right look and the right density, both at the surface and up top. I think this one reads the same way. That is lot 45. Lot 46. We get to another doe kid, 5217, and that's also out of Jim's brother, the Hidden Treasure's son, back over Rico, same Rico doe that made the good San Antonio weather that wins that heavyweight class there for the Simpson family. This one reads a little greener to me just in terms of his condition, high end and in terms of her condition, high end in terms of her look, though, one that I think needs just a few more days on feed to kind of get with the program. She has made some jump in the last 30, I can tell you that. One that I appreciate her balance, I appreciate her flexibility, her look from the side. Progression of width is good. Love the pedigree here. One needs just a shot more time probably to max out. That's lot 46, 5217. That would be a full genetic sib to Mason's Weather that won the middle of those heavy classes there in a very competitive San Antonio. We get to lot 47, another doe kid, 5216. He put bear paw over a fuzzy doe here, and one that I think is certainly wild looking. Bred, double bred in the hair is what I would call that. Big footed, stout at the surface, good in terms of balance and look. A shot thinner to me, a shot leaner as you get her. I think that's one it just takes to the feet. Probably does good to get that one out of the pen with 15 or 20 more and just get her back to the house where maybe she doesn't have to compete as hard with the rest of them. That one is bred to be extra stout, extra dense, extra furry. Still got the right kind of running gear, movement, balance, and look. That is lot 47, 5216. Get back to weathers here. We have lot 48, 5238. That's a Believe the Hype 1911. 1911 was the real wild looking buck that Pfeiffer Farms utilized there for multiple years, and he's since gone, but Brian has some of these females, makes them exceptionally stout down low, very elite in terms of look. This one's no different. He's high end looking. He's really cool up front. His elevation is good. He's got a real neat handle to him. He is not fat, but he's creasy. He's got the right kind of look from the side. He's grooved up. He's got the feedability. I think one that's exceptionally good balance. That's lot 48, 5238. Another weather that we have coming next is lot 49, 5189. And that one is Believe the Hype over a Leapfrog. Talked about Leapfrog in his what he's done for Hoffman Livestock, and Brian tied into that early on. Still has some Leapfrog does running around. As I said earlier, that's line bred fur and bone in stoutness. This one's got a really good loin edge. One that I noted and put 2 checks on loin alone. Spans wide last rib back to his hip. Exceptional good balance here. Probably one that I would say reads a shot thinner today. Ready to go in terms of getting to the feed bucket, getting them to your house, and having one that, boy, you can go to taking care of that one. And I think he fluffs up pretty quick, and you can go about as soon as you want to. That one's got tons of quality, lot 49, 5189. Weather we have next here is lot 50, 5184, ear tag number. He's a Believe the Hype. His mom's an hombre. Hombre there is the buck there from Droppert Livestock, from the Moortweet family there, and Droppert family there in Iowa. Brian got some does from them, and reality is they've worked well. This cross has worked good, and you've heard us talk about others in this particular sale. Big caged, really big chested, balances up nice. This one got exceptionally high marks last time I was here. Frankly, I think he's grown a little. I think he's framed up a little, and all of these goats do that. And this one has done just that. Looks to be a shot bigger to me today than I thought he might be. I think, boy's progression of width is good. He's got just a ton of quality and balance. Once again, he's got a lot of feedability to him. That's lot 50, 5184. Well, we get into the last string of the actual goats that are selling here. And it's a string of doe kids. And I got a lot of marks, positive marks here in the last 51 to 58, so the last 8 lots of this sale. I think if you're wanting to tie into goats, don't sleep here at the end of this sale, because I have some of my highest marks on some of these doe kids that are right here at the end of the sale. Why do you do that? Well, you do that because we've said that from start to finish. The quality is very, very deep, and the goods are here, and they have to fit in somewhere. And here we are with lot 51. That's ear tag 5214. That's a Jim's brother over Iceman. Iceman was old school lowrider son. This one's got the great big bone and the big hair. Old school pedigree on bottom. I love the cage in this one. I love the stoutness down low and the density of this one. This is a significant breeding piece and an opportunity to tie into some genetics that, frankly, you can't get pretty much anywhere. And Brian's got her in here, probably one I personally would have kept just to breed on. But she is high-end, she's furry, she's stout, she's big pin, she's broody in her cage and her type. Just tons of quality there. I think she can show as well. Honestly, maybe more value you'll realize whenever you get that one back out and go to breeding. But that is lot 51, 5214. Lot 52, that's...
You have that one as a doe or a wether?
I got 214 as a doe.
Okay. It says wether on the print catalog. It's correct online.
It's correct online on the printed catalog. If you're looking, 5214 is a doe, and she is a doe. Lot 52 is 5215 ear tag. So 52 is 5215 ear tag. That's a Jim's brother over an Iceman again. That's a sister to the one right directly in front of it. So 51 and 52 are sisters. This one is small kid gentle and big kid high quality. She braces exceptionally well. She wants to show. If you have that type of a show where you want to take a high quality one, you got a small showman and you've got one that you really want to get along with. Boy, this one is gentle. Still, when you get a hold of it, she wants to brace and show for you, and I like that. Sometimes the gentle ones don't do that, but this one does. Very big boned, awesome touching, smaller just in type and kind. Looks like the first one got all the milk and the second one didn't, but this one's chunky. She's big caged. She's got the right kind of bone, the right kind of touch, the right kind of look, just not as big in terms of her package. That's lot 52, 5215. Lot 53 is 5231. Different pedigree here. That's a Ghost Rider over another Iceman doe. Very neat just in terms of her rib, her rack right out of her blades, exceptional. I have 2 checks on this one's loin, which means she's very, very good in terms of her loin edge. That's something that Brian has concentrated on for years. This one's got it. She's neat in terms of her look. She moves nice. She balances up good. Unique pedigree there on lot 53, 5231. Lot 54, 5228. That's a Jim's brother, so the Hidden Treasure's son, over another Pfeiffer doe, ladies' man. This one is smaller in stature and still very good in terms of her look. You can look at her silhouette there from the side. She's got the good neck. It comes out high. She's got a really sharp look up front. She's great in her underline. Big racked, one that I think feeds both ways. You can take that one. She doesn't read to be very big, and she's a little thinner just in terms of her body condition, and yet racks laid in her big, neck's neat, profile's good from the side. That's a good pedigree as well, tying that Pfeiffer doe back in the bottom. Lots of quality in 54, ear tag 5228. Lot 55, that's 5221. That's a Not Tonight out of that stork buck that Brian gathered up and has been breeding on back over a Landmark, a buck that Bob Allen raised, synonymous with the heavy hitters of the genetic game. This one I think is a shot skinny and green, one that's very good just in terms of her balance and design. I think she just needs a little more time on feed. Don't overlook her because her genetic potential said she's going to be stout. She's going to be wide and burly, but really high in terms of her look. Her movement's exceptional. One that just reads a shot greener to me today. That's 55, ear tag 5221. Lot 56, 5202. That's a Believe the Hype back over one of those leapfrog does. Well, this one has a lot of good parts and pieces. You know, in our world down south, we have one haired doe show there in San Angelo, and the rest of them are slick. And this one's got the right kind of shape and cage and body type to slick off and really show in one of those slick shows. For me, I think she's very high in terms of her look. Boy, she props up good. You get right in front of that one, and she's really wide, tucked up, real neat and tidy in her chest. Here's one that's got just a monster progression of width from her rack back out through her pin set. I think she's dual purpose for sure. Love the pedigree, new over old, and still one that's real high quality. That's 56, 5202. Lot 57, 5209. That's a Believe the Hype knuckleball. For me, I thought she had pretty neat shape to her. One that balances up neat from the side. Another one that's a shot skinnier and greener comparative to some of the chunkier, I'd say, ones that are in this particular sale. She's got the opportunity, I think, to just bulk up. And like I said, I think getting a portion of these, probably if Brian had just maybe another pin, he could have put some of these little thinner ones in. They'd have got further along just a little bit faster. But here we are into March, and this one's got all the bells and whistles just to go on and feed. Her balance is good. She looks very neat from the side. Flexibility awesome. Line bred for muscle. Very neat one there. Lot 57, 5209. So the last lot in the sale, live of the livestock. I know Brian's got some semen offerings here, but the last one in the sale, livestock, is lot 58. That's ear tag 5213. That's a Believe the Hype over Harlem Handshake. Buck made very popular there at Hoffman Livestock on the bottom side. This one, I think, once again, reads just a shot skinny and green. If you know anything about that pedigree, you know that pedigree is bred way closer to being too much than not enough, just from a muscularity standpoint. Once again, I think we've got a greener one here at the bottom of the sale. Don't overlook that just because you think there's not enough there. The reality is when you buy your muscle, it's all in the pedigree anyway. She needs to go home and get on feed. Her flexibility's good. Her balance from the side's exceptional. I love the way she looks from the side. She's very good from the three-quarter. A shot skinnier. Going to be some opportunities here if you'll study your notes and you'll study your lessons, sharpen your pencil. I think you'll figure out that quite a few of these that come along in this sale that maybe aren't quite as chunky are going to undersell. Brian wants them to get good homes, and he wants them to be taken care of, but he's providing an opportunity here, selling so many high-quality stock here in this particular grouping. So that's the last live lot of the sale. That's lot 58, ear tag 5213. I think we have Brian. He's going to...
Brian's going to have a few semen offerings here and something that they're doing to benefit a special cause up here. And before we let Brian talk about those, just want to make a couple of housekeeping comments. We'll set up a buyer's registration here in just a few seconds as soon as we get done with this. If you're bidding or buying online, make sure you get registered through cci.live, and you'll be invoiced through CCI and the Livestock Marketing Group through all of your purchases, both live and online. So just wanted to make that comment. I know we've had that question from several of you in the crowd here. And then if you're online, make sure you go ahead to follow the link through CCI and get registered. Brian's going to say a few comments, and we'll get the sale started right at 6 o'clock.
Number one, thank you all for showing up and everybody that's online. One thing we wanted to visit about, Corey and Kayleen Schultz are really good friends of ours. Work together with Corey every day, just about. Their little girl, Gabby, will be going this year to have a heart transplant. And they're going to have to live in Salt Lake City for about 6 months at least. And then try to come back and forth, have their other kids up here during school year. And we just wanted to do something to kind of help them with this. We will be offering 3 lots, any buck, full jump, and all the proceeds will go to them to help with some of their expenses. And we really appreciate anyone that will bid on this. If you're thinking about buying semen from us, we would absolutely love for you to do it now and for this cause.